Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be going through IXL assignment M5Y, interpret line plots. So first, let's talk about what a line plot is. So a line plot can also be called a dot plot. The reason for that is if we look at the picture of it here, a lot of times we use dots, sometimes we use X's to create this line plot, otherwise known as dot plot. So with these, every single dot, every single marking represents one person's answer. So if we look at this graph here, it says children and families on Josh's street. So that means when Josh asked a statistical question, when he interviewed all the people that live among his street, he asked them, how many children are in your family? So two families answered 0 children. And we know that because there are 2 dots above the 0. And then 2 families said they only have 1 kid. How many families had 2 kids? Well, that would be 1, 2, 3. And then there's nothing here for number 3. So that means nobody on the street had exactly and only 3 children. And then one person had 4 had 4 children. So when we interpret these, when we read these, a big thing to look for is make sure you read the title of the graph, check out any labels, and then remember that each marking represents one data point. It represents one answer. All right, let's hop on over to IXL now. All right, here we are on IXL. Reminder, the assignment is M5Y, interpret line plots. And don't forget that IXL also has a wonderful video that you can watch, so you are welcome to use that as an extra resource too. All right, let's get started. So it says, an adventure to our company found out how many whales people saw on its most popular whale tour. And then here we have our line plot representing our data. Then our question is, how many people saw at least 2 whales? Okay, I'm going to zero in on this question. So it says at least 2 whales. So they could have seen 2 whales, or they could have seen 3, or they could have seen 4, because all of those are at least 2. So now I need to tally this up. Remember that every single dot, or in this case, every single X, represents an answer. So we have 2 people that saw 2 whales, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that saw 3 whales, and then nobody saw 4 whales. So if we want to give our total here, we're going to add these up. 2 plus 5 plus 0 is 7. So our answer would be 7 people saw at least 2 whales. Let's try this one. A math textbook explains probability by showing a set of cards numbered 4 through 9 and showing the number of people who might draw each card. And here we have the data represented in a line plot. Our question is, how many people drew a number greater than 6? All right, so this one's kind of similar to what we just did. We got to focus on more than one area. And when I reread that question again, it says greater than 6. So all of the things greater than 6 would be this right here. Let me fix that. That wasn't a very good circle. There we go. So all of these numbers here are people that drew a 6 or greater. Oh, wait, hold on. I maybe read it wrong. It says greater than 6. Did it say greater than or equal to 6? Or like the last one, it was at least 2? No, it didn't. So let's rethink this. If it's greater than 6, then we only want the numbers that are greater than 6. So actually, it only includes the 7, the 8, and the 9. So be very careful, because I almost made a mistake. Thankfully, because I read that question multiple times, I caught myself before it was too late. But that can definitely be a trick here when you're reading these, is that you might miss exactly what it's looking for. So we want just those greater than 6, which would be the 7, the 8, and the 9. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people drew a 7, 0 people drew an 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people drew the number 9. So if we add this up, we can see that 15 total people drew a number greater than 6. All right, let's look at our next question here. A fashion magazine poll asks how many winter hats each reader owns. Then our question is, how many readers are there in all? Well, one of the big things is to look at what what are we counting up here? Because if we look at our labels, the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, that's the number of winter hats people own. But we don't want to know how many winter hats there were. We want to know how many of these readers, how many of these people answered this poll, how many readers there were. So that does tell us that we need to count up our X's, and we're going to count it up for all of them because it wants to know how many readers there were in all, in total. So we're going to count up literally every single X we see here. So for the readers that had 0 hats, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then for the readers that had 1 hat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The readers for 2 hats would be 4. The readers for 3 hats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The readers for 4 hats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The readers for 5 hats were 2, and then the readers for 6 hats were 0. So now we can add these up to get our in all to get our total. Now, as I'm doing that, one quick reminder is, as you can see, I'm writing on the screen. Whether you do it on the screen, whether you do it on paper, that can be really helpful because even though, these numbers are small, because we're dealing with a lot of numbers, it could be very easy to forget one or to accidentally miscount. So, using strategies of either writing stuff on paper or coming over here IXL's pen tool and physically writing on the screen with IXL's tool can be a great thing to help ensure that you don't miscount. All right, when we added these all up, 8, 5, 4, 10, 7, and 2, we get the answer of 36. So there are a total of 36 readers. Let's go ahead and answer 2 more questions here together. So to determine whether people make fewer trips to the movies when the economy is bad, a reporter asked people how many movies they saw last month. So that tells us what those X's means. Is these X's are, how many movies the people saw. So this many people saw 0 movies, this many people saw 1, 2, 3, etc. And now the actual question that we're focusing on says, how many people went to the movies exactly twice last month? So we want to know who went exactly twice. Well, right here is our 2 column. So these X's above it are all the people that went to the movies twice. So if we add that up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 people told us that they went to the movies exactly 2 times last month. All right, our final question here together. For a fundraiser, the children in an art club made greeting cards and kept track of how many they produced. How many children made fewer than 3 greeting cards? All right, this is our first one that's fewer. All of our other ones have been greater than. So it's fewer than 3. So read this carefully because we got to determine whether 3 is included or not. All right, it doesn't say 3 or less. It doesn't say between 0 and 3. It says fewer than 3. So that means it is less than 3, and it is only going to be those who made 0, 1, and 2 cards. So now let's add that all up. So 2 people made 0 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 made 1 card. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people made 2 cards. So if we tally that up, 10 plus 5 plus 2 would give us 17 children made fewer than 3 cards. All right, it is now your turn to hop on IXL. As always, if you have any questions, please check out either IXL's help video or reach out to your teacher with any questions you might still have. Good luck. I think you got this.